And so I think she got that out of her system. But if not, it was interesting.
Yeah, that's clicks. That's that kind of stuff people go,
That's a thumbnail.
Yeah,
that's a thumbnail. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like two grievers talking about how sad they are, and it's like
yeah.
Mr. Beast finds the saddest women in the world and tortures them for an hour. Yeah. Okay, great. Hi, I'm here with Alyssa Limperis, who I love. Hi,
I love
Alyssa.
you. Hello.
I love you. Hello. If you were to self-describe your career, your illustrious career to the audience, how would you describe yourself?
Oh my gosh, my career.
I
thought we were talking about my dad. I don't know. How would you describe it?
You are an incredible actress, comedian, writer, an extraordinary person.
Thank you.
And your special No Bad Days is available on Peacock. And it's really just an incredible piece of media, grief-related or not. It really is very spectacular, and you're spectacular.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So at the dinner party, we start conversations sometimes by asking who brings you to the table. So who today brings you to the table?
Yes, so my dad brings me to the table today. My dad, Jim, he died now 9 years ago of glioblastoma, which is a aggressive form of brain cancer. Mm-hmm. And I was very close with him. He was my BFF.
And if you were to say like what he would bring to the table if we're invoking him. What do you think he would bring to the table?
It's funny because, this was 9 years. So this was the first time where how long has it been with your parents?
It's funny, kind of when it has been a certain amount of time, I kind of lost
blends,
track. Yeah,
right.
It blends. I was 23 and like 25. So it's been like, honestly,
you're the strongest person alive. No, I really do think that because anytime I think of what I went through, and then it's like, to double that is crazy.
That's very kind.
No, it's crazy.
I could name a lot stronger people than me, but I appreciate that.
And weaker people.
And
believe me,
we will.
And we will name them by name. No, I'm kidding. No, but
and they're dear friends that would hate to hear their names.
But
we got to do it.
We got to do it
for some reason.
We have to. No, but
I appreciate that.
But So I think that this was the first time that I really looked at pictures of myself and I was like, different person. I look different. My bone structure has changed. Like, and I really saw myself just as a different person. But in that, I was with some of my friends, Gwen, one of my closest friends who didn't know my dad. And I was like, I feel like you would know my dad because I'm so much like my dad now. And she's like, I feel like I know your dad. So in a way, like when you ask like what he would bring, I do like to think that I've made an effort we were already similar, but I think all the best parts of him I've really tried to take on in my adult life and bring with me. So anyway, but in a physical form, I did bring us some pumpkin bread. And now he was not a baker or a cook.
Okay.
But my dad made an effort to, anytime there was a bakery or something, you got to stop in. You got to get something. You got to get a treat. So I'm big on you every day. You got to get a treat. If there's something that excites you, walk in. It's $7 or something, but it's like, it's your...
I love that.
So anyway...
So that philosophy about life is related to this pumpkin bread.
It might not be cooked. I mean, that looked more cooked in my house, but what are you going to do? It's vegan, so...
I appreciate you sharing it.
Of course.
I think what you're talking about with those intangibles too, this represents, so it's the stop in the bakery, you deserve a little treat.
Yes.
Don't deny yourself.
And that life is like, every day is to be celebrated, and every day is...
Yeah.
Like I think my dad did a really good job of that. And before he passed on we were young, but I was very cynical. I was very sort of like, I just wasn't really seizing the day. But my dad was big on just like literally every day is a day, take it. And when he got sick, he really didn't have like a scramble. There was no scramble. He was not like, I have to go see it's like he'd already done. He was just like, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. So I think watching that unfold, it's been so long now, but I'm like, I remember how much that shook me as a kid to be like, whoa, I want to change so that when the time comes, I'm not like, oh my God, what do I... Okay, well, anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to take this back with me.
It literally beat when you said when the time comes. It's like, well... It's been real?
Imagine I just die. I mean, that would be, it'd be clicks. It'd be clicks. Watched. It'd make your series very popular and whatever. I mean, again, if I were to go. Isn't that what
it's all for, clicks? Anyway, if you were to go.
I think that we surround ourselves with people who are generally speaking doing that. I'm grateful for that. Like, I think I wasn't really chasing what I wanted to do as much. I was sort of just like a little in between lives. So I do think that my dad's death was like, go get it.
I love that it's not necessarily like I have a traditional bucket list that includes accomplishing things, but it's the way I live. It's telling people I love them, having a meaningful attempt at whatever meaning in my career I can have. Like, it's the more deeper stuff of how you live your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really feel that it's also a little bit of, not a crutch, but it's like my dad was kind of goofy and like lame and not lame, but like he did not care what anyone thought of him. He really didn't care. And it's kind of fun because I get to invoke him. So it's like an excuse to do it. Like, it's just kind of nice. I'm like, well, this is what my dad used to do.
Right.
Like, you've been to my cookie swap.
Yeah.
Very my dad vibes.
I love it.
That's very my dad.
It's so silly and warm and fun. It's just a good energy.
Yes. And it's genuine. And basically I do this cookie swap where it's just like competition. I have my friends dress up. It's very like whatever. And it's sincere, I would say. And my dad was very sincere. So I feel it helps me be sincere. I'm like, well, this was what my dad would do, so I can do it. You know, it doesn't.
I love that. I really love that.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like talking about the person you were at the time, do you think you were tapped into your grief? Were you just running from it? What part of it at the moment were you willing to go in? Like, because for me, that's something that's changed with time. I'm much more in tune with grief now, actually.
And yeah, look. I think that we were both, if we think of the 20s, that already is such, I mean, any time is bad, but that's such a like floor dropping out time where like you don't have a structure. You're out of college. You're out of, if you went to college, but you're at this place where like your life has had so much structure for so long.
Totally.
And now you have none.
And no feeling of a safety net.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally know.
You're re-meeting, you're figuring out who your friends are. You're figuring out how to live on your own. So no.
And jobs are treating you like crap at the time. Right.
You're learning how to, so also I felt like that time was the first time where it was like in college, if you and your friends were majoring in different things, in high school, if you and your friends did different sports, you were all still like living the same life.
Yeah.
And I remember the early 20s leaving college being like, oh, your decisions now take you to new, like we're all split. If you're doing this job, you might be across the country. Like it really was like your choices are changing your life.
Yeah.
So I felt quite lost. So when my dad first got sick, it was a panicked scramble to survive and figure it out. So I don't know. I mean, I've like made a special about grief and I talk about it a lot, but I still think there's stuff that I have not looked at. I still think the instinct to survive and build a new life was paramount. And that only recently have I felt like, I think I have a life figured out that maybe I can take a step back and look at the painful part of it. But I still, that's still something I feel I'm less comfortable with.
It's hard to do it and hard to figure out where it fits in your life. There's also, I felt a pressure of like, I want the people who have gone to see me be successciul.
Yes.
I don't want to be the person who, they wouldn't have wanted me to dwell on grief.
Yes.
So what does that look like if I'm honoring them, but I've just sat with that. I'm not really sure.
Well, I think too, this is maybe something, but something I've thought of is like you lose love in a way, you lose acceptance. So I wonder if there's also a scramble to get career because it's like if I can get love or acceptance from the public, from a casting director, then will that fill the hole? And then you kind of realize that's not gonna.
And that's what happens in your 30s.
Yes.
Is when you finally go, that didn't fill the hole.
It's not exactly. I think that's right. I think 20s was like scramble to figure it out and like fill the hole.
Yes.
Like I have to get something to fill this fucking gaping hole. And then your 30s is like nothing is going to. So you have to like look at the hole and spend time. Yeah.
And I think also figuring out the people that can sit with you in the hole to keep the analogy going. Because I think in your 20s, you're also, it's a tall order to ask non-grievers to understand you. I found to no fault of their own, I just felt very alone in my experience. I wasn't relating
yes.
to people, like they couldn't relate to me. And so I think when you're older, unfortunately, it's a fact that more people fit into the circle
True.
we're in. But I just remember feeling like...
Welcome.
Exactly.
Hey, how are you? We've been here. Come on in. Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It only gets worse. How are you? Have some pumpkin bread. It's not cooked.
It's not cooked. Welcome
But who the
to
fuck
the
cares?
Yes.
Yeah, we're all going to the same place, underground. Yeah.
Underground.
Yeah. Maybe this expedites it. Come on.
Expedites the underground travel. But
Yeah.
I feel like, it's been very healing for me to be with other grievers. We can joke the way we're joking.
Yes.
There's a shorthand for things. It feels like I just feel that was a time when my grief was, I didn't feel I had space for it. Also, emotionally with people in my life, not their fault. But, I think the older you get also, the more emotionally mature people are around you. So that helps it. It doesn't hurt it. It doesn't hurt it.
Yeah, and I also think something I've been reflecting on is I think that also, in a way, I gravitated away from anyone who would understand it. I gravitated away. I feel I was so almost terrified of it and of being like swallowed by it that I think I almost ran towards people who like didn't know my dad, didn't know grief. Yeah. It was just like, no, it was almost like I was so scared that because I was so close with a couple of people and I was like, why did I fall off with those people? Right. And I was like, I think it's because I was like, I can't even look at this. Right. I can't be here. So I think in a way I almost ran towards like...
Avoidance. Like totally. Yeah. And I think... I think what's interesting is like for me that was the comedy world.
Yes.
And total avoidance. It couldn't be more shallow.
Yes.
But then you were able ultimately to the things you were doing, you did integrate grief into comedy and the things that you were pursuing. And I just think that's really incredible because first of all, I just think making comedy about grief is the tallest order, or making comedy about something that makes people sad is like true alchemy. I really feel that. And it seems like to do that, you have to be able to sit in it truly and look at it.
Yeah. And I think that in a way that was and continues to be the only way I like knew how or felt the most comfortable doing it. Perhaps it was like, if I look at it alone with no comedy, I'll die. And if I look at it and talk about it with comedy, then like I can stay above ground a little bit with it. So I think in a way it helped me be like, okay, I can talk about this, but there's the protection of comedy that won't let me like.
But did you find people reached out after that were strangers?
Yes, I definitely with the special on Peacock, but I think what was very moving was I did that show on the road for a while before the Peacock taping, and I would do it in like comedy clubs in the middle of the country. People never expected me. They didn't really. They weren't jazzed at the first because I also do comedy that's very like big and character driven. So that was more public at the time. So people would come to my shows kind of thinking they were going to get like, and then it'd be like a Friday night, they'd be a little tipsy. And I'd be like, my father was in a coma for 7 days. And you just felt the air and no one was like expecting it. And I think that was the most moving part, was getting like really gruff older men coming up to me in like the middle of, Indiana or Texas and being like, I lost that got me more than anything. Because it was really this thing of like, comedy does allow you to, because I come from an avoidant family. I come from Massachusetts. And I think that just sitting down with anyone and being like, have you lost someone? It's like, no, there's a lot of people who would go, oh, I'm fine. Like, that's what I come from. As a family, that's like, it's okay. Yeah. But I think comedy allows you to be like, hey, come on, laugh, laugh, laugh. Hey, this happened.
Yeah.
This happened. Did this happen to you? This is hard.
And maybe someone who's,
And then I think it allowed people, myself included, to be more comfortable sitting in the quiet part.
I love that so much. It really is this ultimate connector. Like, I think it can make you feel different from people.
Yes.
It's the one thing that probably, despite everything else, we all have in common.
100%.
Yeah, I love that so much. Yeah. I think that also, like, it's interesting because if comedy was your way of dealing with it, it also puts you in a position where you are potentially having to hold other people's grief as well. Like I'm imagining that they come to you. Is that true?
Yes, but it was never overwhelming. And I think to your point, there weren't a lot of people in my life who had gone through it. So at that time in particular, it was welcomed because it was like, oh, I didn't know. And like now I'm getting the chance to talk about my dad. Even on my way here today, I was like, oh, I'm excited. I get to go talk about my dad. So it's kind of like, it never got to a point where it was overwhelming.
I feel the same way. I feel I really didn't want to be. I've always felt if I tapped into grief too much, you could fall down the well.
Exactly.
I didn't want, and I wanted people to think of me as not that. Like it was important that I not be a dark cloud in every room. That was what I pictured.
Yes.
And to learn with time how to integrate it. And I think the word is integration. Like how does it integrate into your life? What are the traditions and the rituals that feel like they're allowing you to feel sad? Because you should be allowed to feel sad.
Yes.
And acknowledging all the things that you maybe in the past would have not brought up because you were worried about someone else's reaction or them not being able to hold space. And I don't know, like I just think now it's much more integrated in my life. I think largely because of community and conversation and people that have proven that I can share it. And I don't know, I think it's been an evolution for me.
And maybe when you're in communities of other people and you're around them, you're like, well, they're not dark clouds. And
That's
they're talking about it.
That's the point of recognition.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, there's a part of my brain that thinks I am darker than everybody else. And I have this like weird, I carry this, dark aura. And then you meet other people who are grievers and you go, oh, but they're lovely and incredible and a bad thing happened to them.
Exactly.
It's not at all personal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so too. And if someone is willing to be vulnerable with me, I'm never like, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, no, in a way, it's almost like, it's, if not, then you're almost allowed to show more of the full version of yourself if you're allowed to talk about your grief. Whereas if you're not, then it's kind of like...
Because, you've had times when you bring up your dad and then it's crickets and
totally.
It's like, what the fuck is going on right now? I don't know what to do.
Dude, not only that, I feel like I tell this story a lot. So if you're listening and you've already heard this, click away, go get a snack. But I was doing my show. During my show, there's a part where I like run as my dad and slow down as him. And then I end up on the ground in a coma. And, it was Philly, had to be like 11 o'clock. Everyone's hammered. I'm on the ground. So it's quiet. The lights are going down. There's music playing. I'm on the ground. And then I start counting that he was in a coma for 7 days. And I go, 1, 2. In between numbers, I just hear, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, you're right. I mean,
did anyone else react after that? Or
no, because and also, I was on the ground. It would have distracted too much to react. Right. So I just had to kind of blow by it. But it was kind of this thing of like, that's fair. Like,
what? Valid question.
Valid. It is like kind of like, I came to a comedy show. She's on the what am I like?
That is so funny.
But yeah, definitely at times, people are
makes
just
you feel so vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't love that.
Right. And we're comedians. I mean, it's sort of like
we need validation.
Yeah, we need validation. You don't want it. It's almost comedy is definitely a way to not be vulnerable.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like a way of touching it and helping yourself get out of it before it gets weird.
Correct.
If you make the joke first, then it's not going to be, oh, this person is going to say something. I can almost direct the conversation.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of techniques also you learn like through survival of just like, okay, I have a couple standard jokes to diffuse the tension.
Totally.
I know how to say this part of it. Like, or it's my way of saying da-da-da-da-da, but it's fine.
Yes.
Giving them the space to be like, don't worry about it.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Because you do need that because there are people that it does come up, but they're not your friend. Like it's an acquaintance or someone at work and you're like, they don't need to know this. I don't need to go there. But I feel like my friends have also like, there's little things they've done. Like I have, some friends keep anniversaries in their calendar and it's just gestures like that. Or like they reach out and they just say, I'm thinking of you. Or on, Mother's or Father's Day, someone reaching out. Like little things like that mean so much. So I think I've realized it doesn't always have to be with another griever. It like the gestures do mean a lot. Or for me, when I was, in my acute grief of both parents, one of the things that felt the hardest was just feeling like I never had a home to go to because I had to
Dude, that's I think
it
what
sucked.
But I think I still fucking deal with that.
Yeah, I bet you do.
But anyway, keep going.
But I felt like someone invited me to Christmas at their house. It could have gone, a million ways. It could have been really unpleasant. It was just so nice. And it was nice to be with family and have a place to go.
Yes.
And someone thinking ahead of like, you know what? I bet this holiday is going to be lonely for her. Why don't I invite her to Christmas? Like little things like that.
Totally.
But yes, the point of not being able to go home, that's a big point of grief. Not returning to the family you once knew. I mean, grief has so many layers beyond a person.
1,000%. And I think that's the life's potentially struggle is just or work is just being like, there's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go
back to. And I think that is a total, like, there are so many people who deal with that for so many different reasons. And on a day-to-day, like, that does not affect me.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll get glimpses of, for some way or another, what it used to feel like to have and I like break down because I'm like, this has been hard. Yes. Like that's all it is like whenever it happens, I just go like, this has been hard.
I totally understand.
Where you just go like, this used to be a little easier.
It used to be a little easier.
There used to be a place.
There's little things like, I think some people don't understand why I was freaking out because I was moving apartments. But for me, destabilizing. It felt like I've built a little home as best I can. Yes. And if this gets uprooted, it's bringing up grief. If I get good news, I can't share it with the person that I love. That's bringing up grief. Like there's portrayals of the way our people died all the time in the media. Yes. That brings up grief. It's everywhere. And I feel like it's this web, it's this undercurrent of everything. And you never know when you're going to get like hit with it. But I think what you're saying, a thing that comes up all the time for me is the feeling of you can't go home or like you can't go back.
You can't go back.
Because
like you have this beautiful home here. We have a beautiful home with our friends. And I think we have a great community.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of things that really feel like home and like my own home. But you can't go back. There's not a place you can go to just kind of be like,
like relaxed and at ease. Yeah, I know. And it's, it's a privilege because we did have that.
Exactly.
And I understand like some people will never have that memory. And it's a beautiful thing and you can try your best to cultivate it, but it's a loss. It feels like a loss.
Yeah, it's like a second layer of loss.
I sometimes feel like there was like a children's book. It's like, Are You My Mother? And it goes to all the different, like it's a bird. It goes to like a tree and it's like, Are you my mother? And it goes to a dog. Are you my mother? I'm constantly asking people, Are you my mother? Because if I need advice, I will scattershot. Like I am like all over the place asking everyone I know. And I realized another griever pointed this out to me. It's like, do you think you're just asking because you want to know what your mom would say and you'll never get the answer? And I was like, yeah, that's 100% what I'm doing. I will just waver on decisions. I will overthink everything. I'll just seek out so much advice, every Reddit thread possible. It's because you just want that one person's point of view.
That's literally it. That's been another like huge struggle of my adulthood. It's like not that, and that's that's so beautiful because that's it. It's just like, you're
not going to find it. Like it's just, and there's a lot of like the niceties of, if you listen, you'll hear them. I've never heard my mom. I've never heard my mom's voice. I would love it. I try very hard. I can get a sense of some of the bad advice she'd give me because she wasn't always right.
Right.
But I did appreciate having like a sounding board. And then my dad, despite he was like a more challenging figure in my life. I always cite like some of the things he said because when life was really hard, I remember I was working I was stressed. I was working 2 jobs over summer and my dad's advice was just quit. And I do love that. I do love that point of view in the back of my head being like, you're allowed to just not do that.
Yeah.
He also would cut the line everywhere. He cut the line at the Vatican, which I'm sure that is written up somewhere in some God book somewhere. But I remember just thinking like, I don't know. He always had a shortcut for things. His thing was always like, don't wait in line. Don't do things you don't want to do. He was a bit of a hedonist. But I feel like I cite that. Like, I'm like, okay, I remember that feeling.
Yes.
And then I also feel like I invoke my mom because she was really about, like she loved creativity. She loved animals. I feel like I bring her, I can feel her spirit in me and I can feel it around me. And I really love it. But I I always wonder what they would say. I always wish I knew what my mom would say.
Yeah,
I just need the words.
That's it. Yeah, I do too. I do too with my dad. And yeah, it's the same thing. Like, I probably even know, but
Yeah.
there's something about them being there.
Yeah.
It's just like an added layer of
Isn't that real?
protection or something.
And I always say this too. It's like grief is weird because it makes hard times harder and it makes good times harder, weirdly, for me at least.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I can't, for my mom specifically, I can't share things with her has kind of felt like things that should make me happy feel a little more hollow.
100%.
And there's grief around any big life decision. Like I think in my future about any family decisions I make, and it's the practicality of I won't have intergenerational care. So if there's like a path of, I literally don't know, but if I want a child and if I want to have it alone, I kind of don't have that option because I just don't have support. But also like, I don't dream of like a wedding. Not that maybe I would, but like who would be there? Like I'm not really picturing it.
Totally.
So there's just stuff like that I'm like, okay, the rest of my life, every good thing, I won't have the first person to call or call when I land, when I get somewhere. And it's been a bit freeing to go, wow, no one knows where I am in the world.
Yeah.
Like I literally don't think if anyone wanted to find me, they could, but it can feel a little vulnerable and a little like, I feel like sometimes, I don't know the word, like I'm, invisible sometimes. Yeah.
That's, I think that is totally it. Cause it's probably more than like the advice or anything. It's like, you want to be seen, you feel invisible.
Yes.
And there's something about like, if you think back, you're like, there was a point where at the very least I was seen. And like being seen is very valid. You just go, okay, they're seeing me, whether I'm fucking up or doing the right thing or succeeding or failing, like they're seeing me and they're here and they're not moving. And like that is what has, when I really think of these, 9 years, because it was like just the anniversary, I'm like, I just used to be a little freer. I used to be freer. I used to be more carefree. Yeah, but there were a lot of things I also was that like I was not responsible. I couldn't make decisions. I wasn't an adult. So maybe some parts that are confusing for us too are like
just growth.
Yeah. Like maybe some of this stuff is just what happens as an adult anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But we don't know what's what.
Yeah, totally. I think it's interesting too. I like through other grievers, through Dinner Party and other grievers that I know, that people feel this way even if they have a loving partner or spouse.
Oh, totally. And yeah, I do. Totally.
Support network. Like these are just feelings that I think aren't fixable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be like a biological thing. There's something.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think, how people say like when people get famous at like 14, they're like stuck at that age or something.
Yeah.
Or like, I almost think there's something about like there's some part of me that is still stuck at like 24 when it happened. Like there's just, so all like 90% of me can move forward and be an adult, but then there's like 10% of me who's like a hurt 24-year-old who's like scared.
I can totally understand because that part will never potentially get to heal.
Right.
That part will always have that pain. And I think like you were just set off on a different course that day.
Yes.
Like that's just, you've diverged. So you're also grieving the version of you that at 24 hadn't suffered this horrible tragedy.
I think that's it.
That's really hard to imagine. And it, like you look at your life and you can be so grateful for all the things you have, but you have to wonder, what if that hadn't happened?
So that's a really beautiful way to put it. I think that's it, is like, yeah, the like nostalgia for an alternate reality that like was never real.
Yes.
It was never, but it became not an option like that day.
Yes.
And there's we like having choices as humans. So it's like, there's a feeling of like, I didn't have a choice. And what would my life have looked like if,
Yeah, totally.
And I don't know how productive that, like that's probably where I fall into. That's like my least productive grief habit.
Yes.
Is almost just nostalgia for that time and the different path. Because it's
truly unknowable.
Yeah. It's unknowable. It's not real. It's not there. But that's probably my most, like I feel like I watch TV shows that like I watched at that age and like I can't finish, like watching them, and I just like rewatch them over and over, and I think there's like something there that's like I can't let go. Like if I finish that show or if I stop watching that show, it's almost like not wanting to let go of that version of self too.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean.
And maybe this year of like seeing myself look different, it's like you're gonna have to like let go of that at some point, and stuff will likely be gained from like just letting go of that. But it's been almost a decade, and there's still stuff that I'm like, I don't want to like shut this door that is an invisible door. It doesn't lead anywhere. There's nowhere it goes. But
I know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be and what's interesting is like, it could seem as innocuous as a TV show. That's where it comes up for me too.
Yeah.
It's things that it's like, I didn't realize I was holding on to XYZ as a symbol of literally what we're talking about.
Yes.
Or like revisiting things at the time that were hopes that I had or dreams that were, like my mom got sick when I was in college, and a lot of the nostalgia around how great the college years were, mine weren't amazing.
Yes.
Mine were really hard, and early 20s, and then my dad died and it was just really hard. Like there's a version of those years that I think was set up to be a certain way and things didn't go that way. I don't have a lot of like happy nostalgia. And the other thing is, I sometimes think the grief colors my memories and makes them less happy.
Yes.
It makes the whole thing kind of like sad and dark because I know the ending. And there's certain things that represent that to me. So an innocent conversation around like, childhood just makes me sad.
Yeah.
And so I can totally relate to this idea of watching the end of a TV show or things like they just feel like they're so heavy and they're so rooted in the belief of like what we thought was going on and then what happened and those things being different.
That might be it. So it's like, so when you watch the show, you're like, I can remember a time where I was watching this show and I didn't have the knowledge I have now or something. So it's like a portal to a more innocent, free time. Yeah.
Totally.
Because I think if we could act, like I do think there's a way to potentially access that version of ourselves. And that's my new goal. It's like I feel I've created a home. I've created stability. I've survived. So I don't have to be in survival mode anymore. And now it's like, can I go one step further and be like as free as I used to be when I had this, protection of parents? So what would it look like for me to try to channel that now? And I really feel it around the day my dad died. That's the one day where I feel the strongest, because I'm like, it's like there's something so visceral about that day, and then it's so visceral that I can almost remember being that age, and then if I remember being that age, I can remember being a year younger and feeling how strong I felt with my dad. You know what I mean? So there's like,
does that feel empowering and inspiring?
Yes, that one day, it's almost like I can do things that scare me more.
Wow.
Like it's something, and even around the day, I'm like reminded of,
Yeah, that's incredible.
So trying to maybe access that for longer.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
And all the parts of ourselves that are like, they can coexist of this was the version of me. This is also a current version. They all like live in us.
Exactly.
And how do I honor all of them? It's really interesting. I just think like the amount of introspection and I don't know, there's other words for what I'm thinking, but like the amount of curiosity about yourself that you can have as a griever is really crazy.
True.
Like you just are talking about so much self introspection and awareness about how you are living. And I just think like most people are probably trying to turn off their thoughts and turn off their awareness of self and trauma. And if you are grieving, you are locked in a way you can't avoid.
Yes.
So I appreciate you saying that it can be empowering and it can be inspiring. Because for me, sometimes I just think it brings me down. Yeah. And it doesn't make me motivated. It just makes me sad and like self-pitying.
Yes.
It can also be a motivator. It can be the thing that like reminds you of, okay, here's who I am and here's what I care about. And yeah,
there was this like really, I feel like I wish I knew what it was, but I think it's the way some culture views grief, but it's basically, I believe my friend Peter Kaplan told me this. He went to Middlebury with me, and he sent me this like the day my dad died, and it really helped me. But basically, it's like looking at a mountain range. I'm sure you've heard this, but like the way Americans or we look at death is like you were alive and then you died and then now you live without them. And the way this other culture looks at it is like a mountain range. And so they're here on the mountain range. They're not here. But if you look at the mountain range, like they're part of you and it. So if you can zoom out, it's like they're right there and you're on that same mountain range with them. So
yeah,
I think if I think of it that way, then it's like I'm living for both of us and we're both here doing these things. And
you literally do things that you are his genes, literally, and you are raised with his values. So you can channel and invoke him.
Yes.
He's with you in that way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
My mom had like some very bad qualities. My dad some very bad qualities, and and they like raised me weird. And I have a lot of that stuff that I can't avoid, but constantly invoke them because it's how I handle challenges very bad.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I appreciate when I have friends that let me talk about it and let me like, I don't know. I still think, well, it's like interesting too because my mom died and my dad died very different ways. My mom is almost like a clean grief of like, you know, I loved her and she died from cancer. And that's like the story of every stepmom style movie where you're like sad. And my dad died. He was a complicated figure. His death is stigmatized. There's like a lot I don't talk about. And so I almost, for lack of a better word, like code switch within my grief where I don't actually bring all of my parts of it out to people. If I don't feel safe, I can just be like, yeah, I love my mom and she died.
Yes.
And if it's someone that like I really know, I can be like, here's all the other, like the 95% of it I can't access. So that's where I'm at now is learning how to better integrate a less culturally palatable grief.
Yes,
which
totally.
is, I think a lot of people have and don't feel like they have space to share. Because I just think like every piece of grief is terrible. And then I feel bad that there are some versions that people feel like, I don't know, ashamed of. But that's where I am now. And it's like,
and it makes sense that takes a little longer to get to because it's almost like you have to get through, like it's another stage. It's like grief, sadness, loss, dropping out, and then complicated stuff. So it's like you can't deal with the complicated early on. It's like there's too much going on.
There's too much going on. I had a full plate.
Exactly. So now it's like, okay, now I can look at the complicated stuff.
Exactly. And it also has been really helpful. Like Dinner Party has tapped me into, I host like a double parental loss group and all kinds of folks that have had that experience. And also I was paired with someone who lost their mother and father the exact same time, the same way, who lived in Australia. And it was like a needle in a haystack of finding someone else who just the point of recognition was so healing. Because I think I love, you know, just the idea that like, whatever we're carrying, you are never alone.
Yes.
There's always your specifics in your relationship and the person you're honoring and remembering. They're so unique. And that's not to diminish that. But the feelings that you're feeling, someone's probably going to relate to.
100%.
I think that's hard to sit with when you don't know that. It heals me to know other people can understand what I'm saying.
Exactly. Because again, you feel seen. You're not because being alone with anything just makes it 10 times worse.
And I'll give you the benefit of the doubt any day. If you said XYZ is stressing me out because of grief, even if it's not mine, I will believe you and go, yeah, of course, because it's weird and it's always something.
Yes.
So that's really important to me. Like, I don't know. So it doesn't always have to be from another griever, but I just love like feeling safe and understood and having a bit of that feeling of home with other grievers who can understand.
Yeah, same. Because I also think, when you're talking with another griever, there's like, okay, so something that's maybe like surprised me a little with grief over the years is how much I like look forward to grief sometimes now. It was so overwhelming in the beginning. I just wanted to like avoid it. And now I'm so used to my normal life without it in a way. Everything looks so different than it did back then.
Yes.
That when I get a pang of sadness or grief or remember my dad, it's actually like exciting because I get to like remember him wholly and spend time with him and like be with him. So I think that something that early on I almost like was trying to avoid and do everything in my power to like not think about it all the time.
Yes.
Now I'm like, I actually really look forward to chances where I can feel sad or remember him because it really is like a reminder of how strongly I feel about him or just him. And I think that that's something maybe you kind of find with other grievers. It's like, because you don't feel like you're bringing them down necessarily.
You don't
it's
feel
like
like you're bringing them down?
Yeah, because it's like, oh, let's each give each other a chance to like talk about this person. Whereas, even though I'm sure our friends would say you're not bringing me down, it is still a little like, you
feel a little isolated in it sometimes.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Day of the Dead festival at Hollywood Forever? It's phenomenal. I mean, it's just incredible. All these ofrendas with like various people. It's the things that they love. It's just
Coco. Did you watch Coco? Is that what the name of the movie is?
The saddest movie ever. Yes.
I have never.
Remember me with the
Remember. I mean, just hearing. I'm like,
too much.
Done.
And I think what's beautiful is that for Day of the Dead to like have a day scheduled where you bring people back. You are allowed to grieve, and there's so much humor in the ofrendas and personality and things that were so specific to the people, and you get to like understand them better. And I just think my therapist recommended that I schedule grief, which is insane.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because if you create traditions and if you create a ritual around it, you're not going to avoid it and you're not going to be absorbed by it. You're going to actually give it like its own sanctified time.
Exactly.
It's a little weird, but it's been working for me.
No, totally. I mean, and I think especially like losing homes and losing like, cause I feel like when I still had my childhood home, it was like, I knew kind of anytime I went home, I would grieve. Cause I knew like the minute I saw the house, the minute I saw the grave, whatever, the neighbors, it was all triggers for grief in a good way. And then without that, it's like, if I'm not careful, like I can go a long time without tapping into it, and then
it's seeping through,
exactly.
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
Is there anything that a supportive person has sweetly attempted to do or not sweetly attempted to do that's been bad, like in terms of grief support in your life?
Okay, I sort of have a hot take on this. I'm a big believer in like, no, I don't. I think there's no wrong. I think if anyone has ever attempted to do something, it's been a win. I think the only thing you can do that's wrong is like not attempt.
Yeah.
So I just think I have experienced loss. And if someone experiences loss, I'm still like, so I'm like, I just think it's so complicated and heavy, and that any rules around like what not to do or whatever, I think I'm a big on like, whatever you do is fine and great.
Let them know you care about them. Yeah.
Anything you do is just wonderful. Because I think the fear of maybe messing up could stop people from reaching out, and then you kind of, that's worse.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I feel like the main, like this was the day of the funeral, but my entire Greek family showed up, not the day of the funeral, sorry, the day my dad died. Just cousins showed up at the door. And I just don't remember how they found out. I don't remember like how it happened. They were just there. And then we were all sitting around talking and laughing about my dad. And that's like the best memory I have of that time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I am a big like, just go, show up, bring something.
You'll always remember the people who showed up.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah. I totally know what you mean. And also like in those moments when your brain isn't functioning, it's just nice to have people around who are helping.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a neighbor who my dad, was in a coma for 7 days, and I don't remember much. I just remember there was always a coffee from 7 Stars, my favorite bakery, at my door, and she brought it every day. And I don't remember asking. It was just like there, and it was silent, and there was but it was just such a thing of like, I see you, and here's this, and I'm here. And yeah. I
need to do better with that. Like to your point about not knowing what to do, I have to remember that sometimes too. So
but everyone's, I don't know. You do your best. It's like, you can't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's going through stuff all the time. So you do your best. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Alyssa.
Oh my God, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Of course. What are your parents' names?
Anne and Joel.
Anne and Joel and Jim. Maybe Jim. They're somewhere.
They're hanging.
Hanging out.
If you picture your dad, is he like hanging? What's he doing?
Yeah, he's hanging in half. Of course. He's hanging in half. He's having beers in half.
Is he's running, or what's he doing?
I like to think he ran so freaking much
that he's finally resting
on a cloud.
He's chilling.
And he's chilling in the sun.
What about
you?
Is he with other people?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, he's with He's with other people.
I love that.
Yeah, but he's waiting for us too, I think. Yeah, he's not with that many other people, so I think he's up there waiting. What about your parents?
My mom is with my departed cats. They're sitting on the sofa and they're watching bad TV.
Nice.
And they're waiting and they're very happy. And my dad is out golfing and he's not being part of the family. But he's also very happy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.